Discipline is freedom, not restriction. I know it doesn't feel like that often when we're trying to get something accomplished. We want to start a new thing or get our life together, or maybe, exercise on a regular basis, or eat healthy, quit smoking weed, quit drinking, cigarettes, smoking cigarettes, whatever it is we want to do. The discipline doesn't at all seem like freedom. It does seem like restrictions, but I want to tell you why. What do you want? That's what you want to focus on. What do you want out of life? What is it that's fueling this desire to change? How bad do you want it? And so discipline, gives us this harsh, rigid, marine, image in our minds, the discipline, But discipline is simply creating a habit, creating a good habit, as far as we're concerned, right? So if you're trying to create a good habit, why does that seem restrictive? It's because there's something that you would much rather do. Rather than get up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning like I do to work out and to get ready for work and all that stuff, it feels better to be laying in the bed. So it's not about what it is you have to do. It's about changing what it is you want to do. Okay? Do you want to stay in bed and chill, or do you want to get healthy? Do you want to sit just in front of the TV? Or do you want to do some cardio or some other kinds of workout? So that's the question. The question is what it is you really want. And if it feels like a restriction to you, the discipline of creating a particular habit, it's because the habit that you are trying to create, the result of that habit, isn't what you really want to do. Because if you really wanted to do it, you would have no problem creating the habit. I remember when I joined karate, martial art, when I was like 14 or 15 years old. The hardest thing to do initially was to throw what they call the reverse punch. And you think that would be very simple. All of our daddies taught us how to punch when we were young, but we're in there trying to get this thing right. And it took repetition. It took the discipline. That discipline was creating a habit, but we didn't mind because we wanted to learn. We wanted to learn the martial art. Back in my day, Bruce Lee was still alive. We wanted to do that. So when it's something that you want, creating a habit is easy. So that's what we have to focus on. Because if you have an issue with getting up and working out every day or eating right every day, then your issue is you really don't want to work out. Your issue is you'd really rather chill. Your issue is, as far as eating is concerned, you'd rather have that piece of pie or that piece of cake. So that's what has to be adjusted. What is it you really want? And once you realize what it is you really want, it's going to get easy. Now you're still going to have to create a habit because you're out of the habit, but it's not going to be a chore. It's not going to be cumbersome. It's not going to be something that you dread to do, to pull yourself up to and do it, because if that's the attitude, you're not going to make it. You're not going to continue, and that's why most Americans are obese. Most Americans don't want to be obese, but most Americans are. Most Americans don't want to have heart issues, lung issues, cardiovascular, and all that kind of stuff, issues going on. But it's a lot easier because their desire to be well isn't strong enough. You have to do that. As I shared in other programs, I lived a reckless lifestyle. I was drinking and partying and smoking and, doing all the things I shouldn't have been doing. And one morning, I was 28 years old. I just got up and wanted to change. I went to my apartment and just picked out everything in my apartment that I loved. Baseball, bowling, karate trophies, artifacts I had picked up in Japan and in Korea, plants. I was growing my own, jazz album collection, everything that had defined me. And it was at that moment, 28 years old, that cold January morning, I decided that was not me anymore. And I took all that stuff and took it to the dumpster and threw it all away. There was an echo in my house because I did not want to be that person anymore. That was it. It was easy. I was 28 then. I just turned 67 recently. I have no regrets over the things that I threw away that were irreplaceable, because that was not me. It was easy. See, you have to make a determination. Who do you want to be? And when you really decide who you want to be, if it's a healthier version of you, then you're going to have to rid yourself of everything that validates that unhealthy person that you are. You want to start eating healthy? Don't buy unhealthy foods. Don't have unhealthy foods in your house. For real. Man, I love bread. I can eat a whole loaf of bread in 2 days. There's no bread in my house. I don't keep some. I don't buy soda, man. I could drink 3 2-liter Mountain Dews in a week. I don't keep soda in my house because that's not me anymore. And that's what I'm sharing with you today. So if it's difficult for you to do what you need to do, that's because your reason isn't really a necessity for you in here. And so I hate to be the bearer of ill tidings, because I know this is not what a motivational speaker says. I don't know if I'm a motivational speaker, but because a motivational speaker needs you to come back and keep buying their books, keep buying their CDs, watch their podcasts, and do all that stuff. But I'm just telling you, it's not going to work until it's something that you really want to do. If you're smoking weed and you want to quit smoking weed, if you say, well, after I finish this bag, then I'm going to quit, you're not going to quit. If you're smoking cigarettes and you say, well, after I finish this pack of cigarettes, then I'm going to quit, you're not going to quit. If you're serious, you'll dump that bag of weed. If you're serious, you'll throw away those cigarettes. And if you don't dump that bag, if you don't throw away those cigarettes, you're not serious. You still want that buzz. You still want that feeling. I'm telling you, this is the key. Discipline is freedom. The discipline is freedom from the old you. Discipline is freedom from the you that you don't wish to be. Some of us would, I don't say we'd rather, but we just haven't made our minds up. Make your mind up for who you want to be. You want to find a reason? You have any little eyes, little kids looking up at you? You're their hero. You are what they desire to be. So make yourself what you would wish your child or your nephew or your niece to be. You know the misery that you drag around with you. God, I'm 100 pounds overweight. Gosh, my heart isn't what it used to be. Gosh, I know I should be eating better. I know I should be exercising. Well, they're going to be just like you. For real. And you know how kids are. They might ratchet it up to the next level. Think about that. And I believe in you, but it's not good enough for me to believe in you. You have to believe in you.